Hey everybody, Derek here to bring you another video for Z Nation. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to make a video for the last week. Most of the reason for that is because it's finals week here at school, so I've been very busy studying for finals and getting ready to take my finals as the week comes along. So I do apologize, but I am going to do a video today, to give you guys some information. There has been some new news about Z Nation finally. We've been waiting for months and months to hear something, and we have finally heard it. Um, it is a little bit late here, so if you are having trouble hearing me, I do apologize. I just don't want to wake up other people. Insert headphones, and I'll also try to speak in a moderate voice if I can. But what I'm going to be doing is talking about Matt Cedeno. He has been cast as a main cast member in the upcoming second season of Z Nation. And it's definitely very nice, having a new introduced character. And I'm going to give a discussion about that character and some predictions about what his character may add to the show. Just in case you are not caught up with Z Nation or you do not want to be spoiled in any way, please do not watch the video because you might be spoiled because I will be doing some predictions. Okay, so the character's name is Vasquez, or Vasquez, however you pronounce it, but I'm going to say Vasquez. And his character is described as a mysterious, rugged bounty hunter with questionable motives who joins our ragtag team of zombie fighting heroes. Definitely very interesting. And I wonder exactly what will his role be. First, I want to take note of the fact that he's a bounty hunter. And for people who may or may not know what a bounty hunter is, a bounty hunter is someone who hunts for people, generally who skip bail. You have bail bondsmen who, somebody's arrested for a crime, they have to post bail in order to get out of jail while they're waiting for the trial. And sometimes a bonds person will put up that money, or maybe 10%, whatever, and you promise to pay a fee for that, and you promise to show up to the trial, show up to all the hearings. But if you run, then the bounty hunters can go and find you and bring you back. Basically arrest you and bring you in so that you can, stand trial for whatever you did, and just so that way the bail bondsman is not, stuck with the whole entire amount of the bail, because sometimes that could be $100,000 or more. And bounty hunters operate in different ways, and the fact that he's a bounty hunter, you wonder if he was a bounty hunter before this, or whether he became one once the zombie virus kicked in and everything started to happen. So it could be either or. But what really matters is the fact that he's a bounty hunter means that he's looking for somebody. He wants to find somebody. Who? That is the question. That's the question that we're going to be waiting for, because it doesn't say who. And the fact that he has mysterious, questionable motives makes me wonder if he's going to be keeping that a secret from the group, or if he's just wandering along and something along those lines happens. So there were a couple of theories that I thought about. One is that he's looking for Murphy. That is definitely a possibility, because obviously Murphy is going to be, hunted in a sense by potentially Dr. Kurian, who wants him for some particular reason. Warren's group is going to be looking for him because, they were taking care of him, and they may think that there might still be a mission, something along those lines. Plus, he's a member of their group and a friend, quote unquote. So, maybe they might feel like they owe him something, or, they want to keep him safe after realizing what happened at the lab. Another possibility here, again, is that Kurian may be sending people out to go look for Murphy. I think that's definitely a possibility. That I think there's more people, just like I said in my one prediction video, I think there's more than just Dr. Kurian. He had a couple of, henchmen with him, some soldiers that were working for him in the lab, and I don't think that was his only source of people working for him. I think he does have other resources. How many and where they're at, we don't really know yet. But I don't think he's just a lone man. I think he does have resources, and I think that it's very possible that in order to try to, find Murphy, he's going to use other means other than just him personally hunting for Murphy, because it might put him in danger, or it might, the group sees him and they go, oh, it's Curry and we need to take care of him. We need to kill him or arrest him or whatever the deal is. So he may use Vasquez, the bounty hunter that, he owns or he, is paying, he's doing something for him, and send him out to go look for Murphy to help him. And maybe Currian has resources to find the group as well, or something along those lines. And he might say, blend in with these guys because I want them too. Maybe he wants them for some kind of purpose as well. So he may, have Vasquez play the good guy the bad guy who blends in as a good guy and just is the traitor. He's going to betray them later on. So I think that's a possibility. But there's obviously another possibility, and that is that Vasquez is looking for Currian. I think that's just as likely as him looking for Murphy. Again, I often think that there's going to be more to this story than just Dr. Currian. I think that there are more individuals out there who may want the virus for a particular reason, and it does stand to reason that Currian is working for somebody else. He may be working for the government. He may be working for government or some kind of terrorist organization as well as just himself. Or somebody may want him. That he may be in business for himself, but that somebody else out there might want his, talents and his skills for some kind of reason. Maybe they think that he holds the cure, and that he might know how to do this. So there is a possibility that they're looking for Dr. Currian. So Vasquez may join up with the group because they're looking for Currian, and he wants to find Currian. Now, he may make that point clear, or he might not. And that's the other big thing. What do you mean when you say mysterious, questionable motives? What does that mean? Does that mean that he's just joining the group as like I've just been out here surviving, and I'm looking for some people to help out because I can't survive on my own? That's a possibility, because there's going to be people all over the place, and they've run into a lot of different kinds of people since this story started. So he may just present himself as your regular everyday survivor. But on the other hand, he might tell them that he's looking for Currian, but he could lie about the reason why he's looking for him. That's another possibility. So he may come out and say, hey, you guys are looking for Currian, or like he may spy on them. He may come across them. We don't really know how they're going to come across each other, but he may say, oh, well, I'm looking for Currian as well. He's wanted for war crimes. The government still is active, is still, running somewhere in a certain area, and we need to find Currian before he finds Murphy, because otherwise such and such and such is going to happen. So he may have particular motives for finding Currian, but it may not be for good reasons. He might lie if he does reveal his intentions that are false. He might say, well, I'm looking for Currian because the U.S. government wants him, so that way he can, so that way we can stop him from destroying the world, because that might be his ultimate goal. Or, there is another chance that perhaps Vasquez is working for somebody that's not affiliated with the government, or that somebody that is but has very terrible motives. Because one thing you might also figure is there may be some other kind of organization out there because we know that Dr. Kurian is a bioweapons dealer and a terrorist. You would classify him as that, and I believe that they have before this whole zombie apocalypse started. So you may have the possibility that Kurian is being hunted by somebody else, again, like I said, because they want something that he can do. They want his ability to be able to create like a superhuman or a cure to the virus so that they can do something, or some other kind of scenario like that. So I think it's very possible that he's looking for Dr. Kurian, but not for the reasons that he tells the group. And I think it's very possible that he would lie about his reasons for doing so, just so he can get in good with the group. And then later on, when we get to a certain point in the story, he might betray them. So that's a possibility. But then, of course, you also have the other possibility. I know there's a lot of different theories here, but we really don't have much to go on other than the fact that he's a bounty hunter with questionable motives. So the other possibility that I thought about is that, well, maybe he's just a tool in the game too. That maybe he thinks he's doing something for a good purpose, but that it turns out that it's not for a good purpose and it's for something very terrible. And he might end up being the one that is, shocked and shafted in the end because he thought he was doing something for an admirable purpose, and it turns out he wasn't, and they were lying. That's a possibility too. I think that one's less likely though, because the fact that he has questionable motives in the first place kind of makes me think that he's a little on the suspicious side. But, throughout the story, I think there's a very good possibility that, because he has questionable motives, that could also mean he's conflicted about his mission. You see that all the time in movies or TV shows, where somebody starts out as a villain, and, you grow to hate them, or they have terrible motives, but then they have like a shock of conscience or something that they see or do, or something that happens to them, and it changes their whole disposition on what they used to believe in. I mean, almost every show on television has had that happen. Prison Break is definitely one of those shows that, you had several people that were villains, like Mahone, who later becomes like a hero in the story. Lost, Ben Linus, I think is a good example of that. Somebody that you initially thought of as a villain and then later becomes, somebody that's working with the group to, help them stop this evil force. So shows have a tendency of doing that, and they could do this here as well, where he is on a very terrible mission, and he does have this terrible motive behind either capturing Kurian or capturing Murphy, or finding somebody else entirely, some other third party. And, throughout the mission, he realizes, I can't go through with this, or he might get to know the group and realize that they're not bad people. And that's the other thing that happens sometimes is, the villain might get attached to somebody and therefore can't go through with their plan because they don't want to hurt this person. And I think that there's a very good possibility that we may see a potential romance situation between Warren and Vasquez. You'll see the picture. I'm going to use that as the image for the video. He's not a bad looking guy. He's pretty handsome. I wish I could look like him, but yeah, be grateful for what you have, I guess. But, I think that it is a possibility that, they could pursue a love story between him and Warren. Because I know that there's not a lot of love going on right now with Mac and Addie kind of split up, so we may see some of that in the future. And I think that it's very possible that he might get, entangled with his emotions, and Warren, that he might fall in love with her or something, or they might have some kind of a connection, which makes him want to rethink his mission, his terrible purpose. So I think there's a lot of possibilities, but I'm very excited that they're going to be introducing a new character. This was something that I definitely wanted to see out of Z Nation, new characters, because we've seen a lot of, different characters, but then they would kill them off in the same episode. You're just like, yeah, So it's kind of nice that we'll be seeing some new faces. And my hope is that maybe in the coming months we're going to see a couple more. We'll see. Only time will tell. But I'm going to bring this video to a close. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. If you guys have any questions or comments, don't be afraid to leave them. Feel free to subscribe. I do have more videos coming. If you guys have any suggestions, please do not be afraid to leave them in the comment section. I've been doing several requests for Z Nation videos, and I will continue to do them. If you have a suggestion, I will definitely follow up on that. And once finals are over, I will be having videos at a little bit more of a steady rate. So I promise I'll be back in full swing very soon. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and thank you very much for watching.